evening, and welcome to the Doc Watkins Show. I'm your host, Doc Watkins. I'm joined tonight by Brandon Guerra and Mike Porter on the bass and drums, and our special guest this evening is the incomparable Jane Monheit. We're going to have Jane on the show in just a little bit, but first, let's take a look at the Jazz Texas News. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says he's not sure whether there'll be a football season this year. However, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is confident that this is the Cowboys' year and guarantees they'll be Super Bowl favorites and play great all season long before blowing it. According to a new editorial in the Iowa City Press, music has the power to help us celebrate important times. The Iowa City Press is receiving a special Pulitzer Prize for the category Stating the Obvious. In fact, the article has gotten so much media attention that the paper is publishing some follow-up articles, including Food has the power to help us not starve, The sun has the power to help us not freeze, and cars have the power to help us not walk. Sons of Anarchy star actor Ron Perlman got into a Twitter fight with Senator Ted Cruz recently and has offered to step into the wrestling ring with Ted for $50,000, which begs the question, what would Ted Cruz's wrestling name be? So far, the leading contenders are Cruisin' for a Bruisin', Night of the Living Ted, and the most popular choice, The Lying King. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred says he's not confident there will be a 2020 baseball season. Despite the fact that there might be no games played, the Pittsburgh Pirates are still planning to come in last. In response to the commissioner's threat to cancel the season, the Houston Astros are going to protest by banging on trash cans. British pop singer Jessie Ware has a popular podcast that the BBC describes as faster, sexier, and naughtier, which also happens to be Ted Cruz's wrestling name. And finally, a new physics study explains that the key to plants and animals' ability to sting is elasticity. This principle of nature's pointy objects having a tip that doesn't break applies to needles, spikes, and most of Kim Kardashian's body. That's it for the Jazz Texas News. All right, well, we're so happy to have you all tuning in. I'm happy to be here with Mike Porter and Brandon Guerra. We're going to play a trio arrangement of a beautiful American songbook standard entitled My Romance. That's a beautiful tune entitled My Romance. Thank you very much, everybody. We want to give a big shout out to Mr. Chris Zients with Wizard Broadcasting. He's running the cameras back there, running all the production behind the scenes. Thank you so much, Chris, for everything you do. And we'd like to follow that last tune up with a beautiful song by George Gershwin, Summertime. That's Summertime by George Gershwin, featuring Brandon Guerra on the drums, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. We have a new shiny piano up here. It's a brand new Kauai piano, a 6'2" grand, and we want to thank Alamo Music for letting us use it during these live streams during this time. Thanks to Kevin and Adriana and Alfred and everybody over at Alamo Music. Love you guys. Thank you. This next tune is a beautiful ballad. We're going to slow things down a little bit and play a song by Hoagie Carmichael entitled The Nearness of You. That's a tune by Hoagie Carmichael called The Nearness of You. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, my special guest tonight is a Grammy-nominated vocalist based in Los Angeles, California. She's performed with Terrence Blanchard, David Benoit, Michael Bublé, many others, but the highlight of her career might have actually been appearing on season number 2 of Doc Watkins' radio show, Live from Jazz, Texas, which did not receive even one Grammy nomination. However, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the incomparable, the lovely Miss Jane Monheit.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Jane. I'm doing well. It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming on our show tonight.
Oh, thank you for asking. I have to apologize. My dog is barking frantically in the background. Can you hear that right now? He's having some kind of conniption.
We can hear no dogs at the time being.
Okay, good. I think he's just really cheering hard for Nearness of You.
He digs the music, probably. Is this a jazz guy, you know? Not a cat, but nevertheless, dogs like jazz too. So, Jane, it's so good to have you here. We were going to have you at Jazz Texas for the second time in April, just a couple months ago. Of course, we had to postpone that later down the road. Can't wait to see you again here in town, but how you been?
I've been really good. You know, despite, honestly, everything that's happening in the world, you know, like when you separate from it and go like, okay, my family's healthy, my kid is okay, life is good. You know what I mean? But, you know, times are hard for everybody right now. I think we're all feeling it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and up until recently, I mean, for a number of years now, you've been touring pretty much full-time. Tons of travel, international travel, playing all the major jazz festivals, all the jazz clubs. I mean, you were in Russia. Your last gig was in Russia, right?
My last gig was in Russia on March 11th. I got home like hours before they shut down the airport. It was kind of amazing. But
did they hold the gate just for you?
Oh, man, I have no idea. I cruised right through. I think things got a little crazy just shortly thereafter. But yeah, the silver lining has been being home, you know, and spending time with my son, who, you know, I always have to leave behind. And so that's been amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And the hardest thing for being a touring musician is that it's so hard to plan. I mean, touring is all about planning right now, right? And so we're getting all kinds of requests from agents saying, hey, you know, hoping you'll be open in the fall. Can we book a date in the fall? And it's impossible. It's impossible to say what it's like. So you're just kind of chilling and hanging. And are you listening to a lot of records?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of that, reading a lot, you know, cooking nonstop. That's been sort of my main pandemic activity, is cooking. Yeah. And, you know, that should surprise no one who's seen my Instagram. I'm either posting, like, my dog or something I made. Like, it's never actually about work, but although...
I think a lot of us have probably had so much cooking experience in the last 3 months that pretty much any person in the world could beat Bobby Flay right now, I think.
Yeah, I kind of think so. I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenge.
So tell us, Jane, tell us how you know, obviously everything's on hold right now, but you've been up to some stuff. You're doing some online lessons. You have a lot of CDs. You've recorded way more albums than me. How many albums have you put out so far? Like
I have 10 records out. I have
10 records out.
10. And then a couple DVDs, a couple best ofs, but they don't count. And let's see, another record on the way. I'm going to be making my next album pretty soon. We're in the planning stages right now, so that's
Who's going to be on the album?
Yeah, I am keeping everything quiet for now because I haven't made any final decisions about anything.
Well, we're really looking forward to the recording sessions, and thank you for the invite. To be So we're going to have to wait for the but we want to know now, Jane. We won't tell.
Well, I mean, what I can tell you is that, of course, it's going to be, you know, what's closest to my heart. I'm not taking any crazy left turns, you know what I mean? It's going to be Great American Songbook because that's what I do, and I feel really strongly about it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's my calling to do justice to these beautiful songs, keep them alive, keep the composer's intentions present, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just what I really love to do. So it'll definitely be some of that.
Cool.
But yeah, in the meantime, I've just been teaching a lot.
And a lot of online teaching. Tell us how we can support you and help you during these times. Tell us all the ways.
Oh, man. Well, I think for me and for just about any artist, online teaching is really a huge thing right now, and it's a way that people can really support artists directly, including buying merch. That's another way to really support artists directly. You want to buy directly from the artist if you can. Buy an album from the artist. Buy it from their website. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Order it from their website, stuff like that.
This is a great
merch.
time to buy CDs. Just when
Yeah,
we thought
it is.
CDs were out, now they're back in, and it's a wonderful way. And we've told everybody a number of times on the show, it's a wonderful way to support artists because we've all got CDs for sale, and you can actually have a signed copy or a mailed copy or whatever, like something physical. Where don't do the Spotify thing, just buy the CD directly and support these guys, right?
Yeah, and almost any artist will send it to you autographed too, which is like, frame it. You know what I mean?
Spotify is going to be fine too. We're not really taking a lot of money from. They're going to be okay. I think they're going to make it through this.
I think we're going to survive. I do. but yeah, online teaching is something that almost everybody's doing. I keep telling young musicians I know, like, reach out to almost anybody. Almost anyone will teach you a lesson, and it's such a neat thing.
It's crazy, and anybody that's watching the show right now that is a jazz vocalist. Wants to be a jazz vocalist. Jane, when we were coming up in San Antonio getting gigs, just under 10 years ago, your CDs and many of your arrangements, I hate to say, but we don't copy them anymore because I know that's wrong and everything. But in the early days, we're like, we need charts, and somebody transcribed your arrangement of Cheek to Cheek, and then we brought you down to the club, and it's crazy that you can have a vocal lesson with Jane Monheit. I think a lot of people think, well, Jane would never answer my call, but you answered my call.
No, I teach like crazy and I love it. And I think almost every other singer I notice too. And honestly, I wanted to mention that because I just have signed on with a new online teaching platform, and they're really, really cool. If you go to jazzvoice.org, you can book a lesson with me or any one of a number of like incredible vocalists: Karen Allison, Tierney Sutton, Cyrilla May, Nicole Zaritis. And that's just scratching the surface of singers that are teaching through the site. And then you can sign up and become a member, have a membership, and then you get free master classes from all those teachers. And then additional people, like I know Catherine Russell's coming up with a master class, Johnny O'Neill. So it's really cool. It's a really cool thing. So jazzvoice.org, singers, if you're watching, it's a really good way to sign up for online lessons because you just get so much extra. It's really cool.
That's crazy, and I think that's one of the good things that's coming out of all this. I remember flying 2,000 miles to take a lesson with somebody. Go have a piano lesson in New York City, and I flew from Oregon to New York. That was 3,000 miles, I guess. And now you can have access to it. Everybody's got the Zoom thing figured out, and 20 years ago I couldn't do a Zoom lesson, so I had to go to New York and buy the ticket and buy the hotel and the subway thing, and now you can. So
I'm dying to know who the lesson was.
Well, I was doing classical piano back then, and so I had a number of lessons. I had a lesson with Eduardus Halim, who's the last student of Vladimir Horowitz, and it was amazing.
Wow.
He had me over to his house, and we drank tea and then moved on to coffee. It was nuts. Classical musicians, but we had a good time.
But yeah, I really do believe that almost anybody you can think of, you can reach out to and ask for a lesson now, and it's not only a really great way to support your fellow artists, but it's a really great way to learn something, or even just ask them a million questions, that you've always wanted to know. So,
So that's voice. It's what is it again?
Jazzvoice.org.
What again?
Jazzvoice.org.
Jazzvoice.org. Everybody go check out jazzvoice.org. And if you're a singer or not, book a lesson with Jane Monheit, and it'll be the greatest experience ever. and buy her CDs. And if you get any really bad singers that said Doc Watkins sent me, just charge them double,
Well, I would never do that because I'm extremely fair.
Absolutely.
But seriously, check out jazzvoice.org because the list of singers teaching is incredible. I forgot to mention, it was founded by Alexis Cole, who is an incredible vocalist and is teaching on the site herself. Is an amazing educator as well as an amazing vocalist. So yeah, I can't say enough good things. That's really a cool thing.
Jane, it's so good to see you. I can't wait till we see you live and in person here in San Antonio. It'll happen. It'll happen when it happens, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you're the best, Jane. Thank you so much. We love you. And give our love to the family. And check out jazzvoice.org, everybody.
Awesome.
All righty. Jane, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
There it is, jazzvoice.org. Thanks, Chris. That's Chris Science, everybody.
Science!
Man, multitasking like a crazy guy over there. All right. That's Jane Monheit, everyone. Okay, we're going to do a tune for you now that this is an old bossa nova classic by Antonio Carlos Jobim, one of the great composers of all time from Brazil, and this is one of our favorite bossa novas. It's called Corcovado, and we're going to turn it over to Brandon Guerra over there on the drums to start us out. Corcovado by Antonio Carlos Jobim. Once again, as Mike Porter over there on the bass solo. We're going to do a little Duke Ellington for you now, one of the all-time great jazz composers that ever lived. This is a tune called In a Mellow Tone. That's Brandon Guerra on the drums. In a Mellow Tone by Duke Ellington. On the cameras, Chris Science. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. We realize that these days many of you are stuck at home with nothing to do, and we're all trying to find ways to occupy ourselves, like many of you are playing board games and other exciting activities. And here at Jazz Texas, we've come up with our own board game that you can play along with right there at home. So, let's play the board game. You know how the board game works. We pick two famous people or reptiles that are very boring. We compare them both, and then I get to make the call on who's the biggest bore. So, tonight on the board game, who's more boring, Keith Urban or a flatback sea turtle? Well, on the one hand, Keith Urban's a singer, songwriter, and record producer known for his work in country music, the countries of Australia and New Zealand. In 1991, Urban released his self-titled debut album, which shockingly was called Keith Urban. But honestly, I personally would have enjoyed the album a lot more if it had been called George Strait. Keith Urban's favorite snack is fried pimento cheese sandwiches, and Elvis Presley's favorite snack was peanut butter fried banana sandwiches. Of course, the biggest difference between Keith Urban and Elvis Presley is I actually know at least one Elvis song. Keith Urban is married to actress Nicole Kidman, who's about as exciting and memorable on screen as Keith is in concert. On the other hand, a flatback sea turtle is named after its flat shell and is found on the beaches and waters of Australia, where Keith Urban happens to be from. Flatback sea turtles eat a variety of mollusks and squid. They also enjoy fried pimento cheese sandwiches, as it turns out. An adult flatback turtle weighs over 200 pounds and is under 6 feet, which would make him feel right at home in Pawnee, Indiana. In comparison to other sea turtle species, the flatback turtle lays an average of 50 eggs per nest. Coincidentally, Keith Urban lays an egg every time he tries to cover a classic country song. It's a tough call, honestly, folks, but if you had to choose who's more boring, Keith Urban or a flatback sea turtle, the correct answer is Keith Urban. And thanks for playing the board game. All right, well, we're moving along right here with the music, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Doc Watkins Show. We're live here from Jazz Texas for the time being every Tuesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Texas time, so make sure and tell all your friends, invite them to the show to live stream with us. We'll be live on Friday night, this coming Friday night, 8 o'clock. We're going to play a song for you now by the great Thelonious Monk. It's a beautiful blues tune, a very unique tune called Mysterioso. That's Mysterioso by Thelonious Monk. Thank you very much. We have time to do just one more song for you tonight. We want to see you all back here at 8 p.m. on Friday, so please tell your friends and make sure and keep tuning in with us. We're going to keep playing some music for y'all as long as y'all keep tuning in. So join us on Friday night. We're going to close out with a tune called When the Saints Go Marching In. We're going to turn it over to Brandon Guerra over there on the drums. Brandon Guerra on the drums, Mike Porter on the bass, Jane Monheit on the remote Zoom call, and Mr. Chris Science from Wizard Broadcasting. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out to the show tonight. We hope to see you again on Friday, and we hope to see you in person sooner rather than later. Let's hope so. So stay tuned, and thanks so much for coming out to Jazz Texas tonight. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Good night.